Hello everyone. In this video we will talk about the pulse width modulation feature of the Raspberry Pi Pico board. So a pulse width modulation is a special kind of a signal which is used to drive some of the very common electrical components like dimming an LED, turning the brightness level of an LED, or using the drone motors. We generally use the PWM signals to drive the brushless DC motors. So here in this setup, what I have made is a Raspberry Pi Pico which is driving an external transistor which eventually is driving a 12 volt and 10 watt LED by using the PWM signal, and in this demonstration I am controlling the brightness of the LED by means of the PWM signal. So first let me tell you something about the circuit diagram. So here in this diagram, this is the Raspberry Pi Pico and these are the connections. I am giving it 5 volt and ground, and this is a voltage regulator IC LM7805. So this is the power supply to the Raspberry Pi Pico, and this is an external power source, a 12 volt battery which is used to drive the 10 watt external LED by means of this NPN transistor. This NPN transistor is controlled by the PWM signal from the GPIO pin 15 of the Raspberry Pi Pico. So first let me give you a small demonstration of this setup. So this is the code. I will explain you everything about this code a little bit later, but first let me stop it. Okay, now this is showing that it is running MicroPython version 1.14 on the Raspberry Pi Pico. So first let me upload this code to my Raspberry Pi. Okay, so now this is asking enter the PWM frequency in Hertz. It is asking about the frequency of the PWM signal. As you all know that a PWM signal is like an on-off kind of a signal, but with a frequency that can vary from 0 to anything positive. Usually for driving the LED I will take 60. Suppose I am entering 60 Hertz, 60. Now it will ask me about the duty cycle in percentage. A duty cycle is the time duration for which the signal is active high as a percentage of the total time period of the signal. Okay, so suppose if I am giving a duty cycle of 100%, it means the signal is always on, and if I am giving a duty cycle of 0, it means that the signal is always off. Duty cycle can vary from 0 to 100%, and notice that in this code it is asking me in percentage. I have made the code in such a way that it will ask you in percentage, so you will have to enter the percentage. Suppose I am entering 10 as the percentage. So let me just turn off the light so that you can better visualize. So first of all, it will ask you to enter the PWM frequency in Hertz. Hertz means how many times the cycle is going to repeat in 1 second. So and this frequency is going to be fixed throughout the course of the program when the program is running. So suppose I am giving a frequency of 100 Hertz. So I'll click enter, and now it will ask me to enter the duty cycle in percentage. The duty cycle is the amount of time for which the signal is on as a percentage or as a ratio of the total time available to the signal. Okay, so suppose I am giving a duty cycle of 50%. So now you can see that the LED is running at 50% intensity. For comparison, if I give the duty cycle of 10, so now you can see that the LED is not so bright. I can give the duty cycle of 0 if I want to turn the LED off. I can also give the duty cycle of 100 if I want to turn the LED on at the highest brightness, like this. Now for 70% duty cycle, the intensity decreases. For 50% duty cycle, the intensity further decreases. For 30% duty cycle, intensity further decreases. 10%, 5%, 2%, 1%, and at 0% the LED will turn off. At 100% the LED will turn at its maximum brightness. Okay, so I hope you have understood the working of the program. Let me stop the execution of this script. Now the script is designed in such a way that it usually does not throw an error when the user enters some value of frequency or some value of duty cycle which is generally not accepted. For example, if I enter frequency and some negative value 174 and decimal 571, suppose I am giving some value which is usually not accepted in terms of frequency, like this is a negative value and a float value. So if I hit the enter key, the program does not crash, but it throws you a message which says that frequency cannot be negative and hence you have to enter it again. It will again ask you the frequency. For example, if you enter something which is again not acceptable, it will ask you, instead of crashing in between, it will ask you to enter the right frequency. Suppose I am entering a frequency of 10 Hz, means in every 1 second your LED should light 10 times, means the frequency is 10. Suppose if I hit enter, so the frequency is 10, and now it is asking me duty cycle in percentage. Suppose a user is entering something which is not acceptable. For example, if I am putting a duty cycle of 150, which in this case is not possible because the theoretical max duty cycle that I can give is from 0 to 100%, and I am entering here 150, so it should throw me an error. But here, as you can see, instead of crashing, the program says that unsuitable range, please enter the duty cycle again. So it is a very nice way of handling the exceptions without using the try and catch statements. Okay, so now if a person is entering negative duty cycle 174, so let us see what will happen. See, it has again not crashed, but rather says that unsuitable range, please enter again. So suppose I am giving this time the correct duty cycle, say 72 point. There can be a user who may enter something in floating point numbers. So this program can also handle that. See, instead of crashing, this 72.45 will be converted to the nearest integer, that is equal to 72, and the program will keep on executing. And now since we have entered the frequency 10, this 10, so now you can see the constant flicker, like every 1 second the LED is blinking 10 times. This is the importance of frequency. And duty cycle, you know how much brightness is there. So now suppose if I am giving a duty cycle of 25%, so this is 25% at 10 Hz, this is 50% at 10 Hz, and this is 90% at 10 Hz. Okay, and this is 100% duty cycle at 10 Hz. Okay, it almost looks as if the LED is not flickering, but if you decrease the duty cycle to 90%, you can see that the LED is flickering, which further increases if you decreases the duty cycle. So for example, at 40% duty cycle and 10 Hz of frequency, you can clearly see that the LED is constantly flickering. At 10%, you can see it is quite significant. Now let me turn off the LED by giving 0 as the duty cycle. Let me stop the program and let me run it again. Now this time I am giving a rather high frequency of suppose 1000, and this will ask me the duty cycle. Suppose I am giving 80% as the duty cycle. Now you can see a clear and bright LED without any flickering because the frequency is much higher. At 90%, at 100% duty cycle, the intensity is further increased. At 10%, even at 10% duty cycle, you will not see the flickering because the frequency is quite high, significantly high. It is 1000 Hz, that is 1000 cycles per second. So this is the demonstration of this project, and now let me guide you through the code. Now let me guide you through the MicroPython code. First, you have to import the required libraries. So you will write from machine import pin. Machine is the library, pin is the class which is in machine. Similarly, from machine you will import PWM. PWM is the class which is contained in the machine library, and now you have to import time. You can also import these two in the same line by using a comma delimitation, but I prefer to use multiple lines for better visual clarity for beginners. Now in the second step, you will initialize the variables. So in order to set the PWM, you have to set two variables which are there in the PWM class. So that is frequency, and the second one is duty cycle. Initially at the beginning of the program, I will put both these to be equal to 0. In the third step, you have to do pin declarations, like which pin is connected to the PWM output of the Raspberry Pi Pico. So I will make an object of this pin class. This pin class is a class in the machine module. Okay. So I will make PWM pin as an object. Usually people call it as a variable, but technically speaking it is not a variable because in Python everything is object. So of this pin class I will make an object PWM pin, and I will give the ID. This ID is equal to the GPIO pin number. It is not the physical pin number of the Raspberry Pi. It is the GPIO pin number. This is 15, this is the ID, and this is the one positional argument. It is not a keyword argument. So if you write ID equals to this in like we write in the form of keyword arguments, so it will throw you an error. So you have to write it like this. So declare the pin for PWM output. Now you will set PWM output is equal to PWM. This is the constructor for the PWM, and here you will enter this pin object that will point to pin number 15. Okay. In this way, your PWM output will be the object that will target your pin number 15. Whenever you write this dot some method, it will directly trigger the output at pin number 15. Okay, so in this way we define the PWM object. Now in the next step, you will ask user about the frequency. Now note that frequency is always set only once throughout the runtime of the program, because you only want your frequency to be constant, otherwise your application might not work properly. For example, in the BLDC motor, if your frequency keeps on fluctuating from 50 Hz that is the manufacturer's specification, your drone's motors may not work properly. So in order to set the frequency only once, we will write first while true. This is a true loop because it will continuously ask you in case if you enter something wrong, like if you enter negative value of the frequency, someone might enter it without knowing. So in that case it will take care of that. Frequency is, first you write the input function and here you will write a statement, enter the PWM frequency in hertz. You may write anything that's satisfy your own interest, but I have written is in like this only. An input function, whatever the user will enter here will be treated as a string. So in order to convert it into a float, we explicitly write this type conversion at the end, but the PWM frequency only once at the beginning of the program. So if frequency is more than equal to 0, that is the user has entered a frequency which is more than 0, it means it is a valid case. So what we will set is PWM output dot frequency, and then you will set the frequency. But note that I have used an int in order to convert this float into an integer, because this inbuilt function frequency will only take an integer as an argument. So I have to convert the floating point number into an integer, and this float is written here because a user might enter a floating point number, like he may enter 60.725 like this only. So in order to allow that to happen, I have used here float, but in order to generate the frequency I have to convert it into an integer, and in that case some truncation might happen or some approximation might happen, but that is okay for this demonstration purpose. And now I have used break. It means if the frequency is set correctly, you have to break this while loop. Okay, else is the case when user might enter some negative frequency. So here you will print frequency cannot be negative, please enter again. You will write continue, means again ask the frequency, go to the top of the loop. Continue and break are two very important parameters or very important conditionals when you have to control the behavior of the loop. And now let me tell you about the next step. In the next step we will define the functions. This is the function for duty cycle. I will tell you about its functioning a little bit later. This is the function for PWM generation. And now we will come to the main logic of the program. Here we will use while true because we want this program to execute indefinitely. So first I'll make a function call. I'll call duty function. This is the first step in the main loop, while true loop. And whatever this will return is stored in this duty cycle. So let me tell you about this duty function. This is the duty function. So this duty function will ask the user about the percentage of duty cycle, whatever the user want to enter the duty cycle percentage. Remember that these programs will crash if the user enters a character or a string, because that is not taken care here, and the entire aim of this demonstration is to tell you about the generation of the PWM. So now convert the duty cycle into MicroPython range of 0 to 65,025. This is the range of the duty cycle which MicroPython suggests. So anything between 0% to 100% will be treated in the range of 0 to 65,025. So what we will do is duty cycle, we multiply it with this number and divide by 100 in order to convert it into a percentage, and then we will type convert it into integer because this duty cycle is float. Remember here it is float, so we will convert it into integer and we store it in this variable. Now print, this is a normal print statement, and what we return is duty cycle. returns the duty cycle in integer. This is the duty cycle which the function duty returns. Remember, this is the integer value. Okay, so here this duty cycle will contain the integer value of the user duty cycle which the user has entered. Now check the input for discrepancy. If duty cycle is more than equal to 0, it means that user has entered something which is more than 0 and duty cycle is less than 65,025. If this is the valid range suggested by MicroPython, if the duty cycle entered by user is in this range, then you have to generate PWM signal with this duty cycle as the input parameter. This duty cycle which this function is returning. Okay, now else you just print unsuitable range, please enter again, then continue at the top of the loop. And note that this is a function, PWM generate is a function that is defined here. PWM generate, it will take one variable. This is the normal assignment of the parameter to a local variable, and then you use the PWM output object. You use this duty underscore u16 method on the PWM output object which you have defined at the top of the program, and here you will give the parameter of duty cycle, which is the duty cycle in raw form which is entered by the user. Okay, so this is how the program works, and the program takes care of the ambiguous values like negative values, or if the user has entered the duty cycle percentage of more than 100%, it will still take into consideration that such value should not be entered by the user. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have learned something. Thank you very much.